Dale's Daily Devo. How's it going? So, tonight was an awesome Bible study. We were going over Moses and the Israelites and the conversation with Moses and the plagues that God brought upon Egypt. And just fascinating how, as you start to explore this story, it raises some questions. Even God said in there that I could have wiped you out very quickly. But he didn't. And the purpose was to display God's power to Pharaoh to show him that he was the one true living God. But the more interesting thing that I liked that we got out of it was I'm not like other gods. Pharaoh began to learn this and see this very specifically. Um, Aaron would do something and Pharaoh's magicians would duplicate it. That happened a couple of times, but then eventually they couldn't duplicate it anymore. And when they couldn't duplicate it, they went and said, this must be the finger of God. But Pharaoh was more interested in this going back and forth that Moses and God obviously had going on. And I think that's the part that intrigued Pharaoh the most is that here this man standing in front of him is saying that he had a conversation with his God and his God told him some things, commanded him some things. And then as these plagues were happening, that Moses would go back and talk to God and make the request to stop said plague. God would listen and God would respond on time. I think that's what really intrigued Pharaoh the most. I mean, Pharaoh had gods, but I don't think Pharaoh had conversations with his gods. And I don't think Pharaoh's gods responded, let alone in detail and on time. So I think that's what intrigued Pharaoh the most is that this man standing in front of him is telling him that he is having dialogue and conversation with his God. In exchange, even in there, Pharaoh even said, hey, pray for me. Because again, this intrigued Pharaoh. Your God is listening to you, your God is responding, your God is talking to you. So, what do we get out of that? Well, obviously, we have a all-powerful God who is very capable, but he also desires to have conversations with us. He desires to talk to us and listen, and he does respond. And he can be very specific. And we should be specific in our request to God. And we should expect the response to also be very specific because that's the key point. He is not like other gods. Well, the other guys don't even respond, but irregardless, he was displaying so much that he was different than other gods that he would break down the plague so that it hit this area and not that area. And the plague would start exactly at this time and the plague would end exactly at that time. So he was demonstrating that he is not like the other gods at all. At all. So, Yahweh, I am Yahweh. That's what he was saying to Pharaoh. And I think Pharaoh got the message pretty clear. Matter of fact, I think Pharaoh was very intrigued. I think Pharaoh even chose to harden his heart to allow this interaction to go a little further because, again, this was fascinating to him. Your God is talking to you. Whoa. Last but not least, I always share in my Bible studies that, when we talk about this concept of having this personal relationship with God, having communication with God, that God actually listens to us, we throw around the word God a little too easily. We talk about it just nonchalantly, But remember, this is the creator of all things. This is the Almighty God. This is the Alpha and the God who will last throughout all eternity. This is God. And we're just mere man, little old flesh sitting here. And God desires to have conversation with us. That in itself should blow your mind, let alone the fact that he actually hears you, listens, and he answers prayers. What an awesome God. Dale's Daily Devo. I like this one. Hope you do too.